After having seen Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, I have 5 thoughts. Here we go. Number 1, I love that this movie is double billed. It's a lot of fun to watch both these monsters duke it out. They are two of the biggest draws in terms of kaiju, and they definitely do not disappoint here. And I think the way that they bookend the movie with both of them fighting at the beginning and then bringing it back to them fighting at the end, it's a nice way to frame the story, because I feel like the story is all about their relationship to each other. So to start with them fighting and then bring it back to them fighting really hammers home that point. Thought number 2, while the movie does take its time getting going, once it gets going, it moves at a very brisk pace. There is one scene that goes on just a little too long for me, but outside of that, it's a very fast-paced movie. I don't think any individual action sequence drags on too much. Things happen quickly, and it feels like a tight monster movie. Monster movies are some of my favorite, but they can also sometimes drag on for a bit. Nah, this one doesn't, and that's one of the things that makes it a fun movie to watch. No. 3, the human story isn't nearly as interesting as the monster story, but it does serve a purpose. Like I said before, I feel like this movie is all about the relationship between Godzilla and King Kong. And the human story helps set up that relationship. If the human story were better, it would be a better movie. If the human story were worse, it might be a worse movie. I think it's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And that's what matters, because the movie never takes us away from the monsters for too long. Once it starts getting interesting with the human story, it cuts to something else. And I really appreciate that. 4, speaking of the human story, Dan Stevens was fantastic. He got a lot of hate online for his portrayal of King Kong in the last movie, and I thought he did a really good job here. I don't know if people forget that he also played the villain in the last movie, but he had 2 very distinct looks. He was very different when he was playing Kong, and I think he did a good job here of showing us that Kong is still hurting from what happened in the last movie. I also love how they gave him a new look in this one. I think that was a really good choice. It shows that he's matured since we've last seen him, and I just think he's a good actor who's doing good work here. Also, I want to give props to the rest of the cast. They're all solid, and they're all likable, and they all move the story forward in some way. I just wish the story was better so they could all shine a little more. And finally, thought number 5. The visuals are spectacular. The movie looks amazing, and there's one shot in particular that I've been thinking about ever since I saw the movie. And it's the first time we see the Titans. And they reveal them in such an epic way. And I love that shot. There's another one right after where they're kind of running through the water. And you get this like vertical shot of Kong looking up at Godzilla. These are 2 shots that I'm going to remember for a while. Also, just want to say that all the practical effects in the movie are fantastic. A lot of movies now rely on CGI for everything, and they lose that practical touch that a lot of movies used to have. And this movie has a lot of really cool practical effects. You can tell the crew put a lot of time and care into those effects, and it really shows. There's a scene near the beginning of the movie that has already become iconic. It's when Kong sees Godzilla for the first time, and there's just so much in this shot. It's really cool to see the practical effects mixed with the CGI. The choreography of this shot is great. This is a shot that I know I'll remember for a while. I really like the way they chose to handle the fight scenes. I think they did a good job of using practical effects and CGI and mixing them together. They staged the fights really well. And there's this one moment in the final fight that I don't want to spoil, but it's such a fun moment, and I've seen the movie twice now, and I still get hyped up every time I see it. It's just really fun to watch these monsters duke it out, especially because they both feel like they have a chance to win. I think that's really important in a fight scene, and I think the movie does a good job of giving both sides moments where they can claim victory and moments where they can feel like they're winning. So when the fight happens, it feels earned. So those are my 5 thoughts on Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. I am happy to report that I enjoyed this movie. I laughed, I gasped, I cheered. I had a great time watching it. And I think anyone who loves monster movies or even just wants to have a fun time at the theater should see this movie. So I'm giving Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire a B+. That's my official review score. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you thought of the movie down below. I'll see you next time. Bye.